And we are live here at 241 Joe Live. Of course, it is not Monday at 9 a.m. It is Tuesday at 9:15 a.m. Um, Deal with it. What are you going to do to us? Unsubscribe? We dare you to. Okay, everyone, it is July 19th, 2022, and we do have some juicy information here. Of course, as you can see, we have Mr. Dr. Reed Richards on the bottom left of the screen here. He's joining us. Of course, hopefully, we have some cool, exciting news this weekend we'll share with you today. And then, of course, we have our good co host, Luke Irvin.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning to you too, Luke. Let's start the box office off this weekend. Of course, it is this chart here is wrong, but it is we had the top three, of course. Actually, the top
Mhm.
four here. I didn't kick off Maverick, which actually this is the first week I think in like the last 12 weeks where Maverick is not in the
Yeah,
top three, which is quite
right.
impressive. It's probably getting close to its end of its cycle here. It should
Yeah.
drop on Paramount Plus in the next
Soonish, right?
3 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have Thor: Love and Thunder coming in at number one this weekend. We always suspected that. It did have a
Mhm.
68% weekend drop, which
Wow.
is pretty big. Um, these are typical for these kind of movies where they're kind of front loaded, but that's not very good. That's
Yeah.
kind of bad. So it made 46.6 million. Its total box office is 499 million. That's not, again, this isn't like gangbusters. This is
Yeah.
I suspect it could get close to right. I think it could hit Ragnarok's numbers, 850-ish million, but it might be
Mhm.
underneath, which will be kind of bad because, again, typically we always have the Avengers effect, right?
Mhm.
We have a movie,
Yeah.
an Avengers movie comes out, and their next solo film kind of typically always does better. I'm not sure if it's a situation where it does worse, actually.
Mhm.
I've never seen that. And so this is could be the first time we get that. Now, there's always the excuse it's post-pandemic, but Doctor Strange 2 did better than its predecessor, and
Right.
this one just is not as well received as some of the other
Yeah.
movies in the phase, you know? I mean,
Especially with this weekend, we have Jordan Peele's new film Nope coming out, and I'm very curious to see how that, where that's going to rank and
yeah, I suspect
how
the
the box
drop-off
office will look.
won't be as bad as the 68%. We'll probably get I mean, they
Yeah.
could get like a 50% drop or 20 or 45. They'll probably make 25 million this upcoming weekend. But Jordan Peele will definitely probably knock it
Yeah.
down, which is
Oh
pretty
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And I mean, here's another thing too is that Disney Plus is the thing now. So there's unless it like probably has rave reviews and everyone's just talking about how great it is, they probably people will might like, well, I'll just wait. Like, yeah, I'll just wait
Sure.
2 months
Yeah.
and watch Thor: Love and Thunder on my TV. I pay $8 a month for that. I mean, Doctor Strange. It dropped pretty soon after its theatrical release. It's there
Right.
now. I saw an ad yesterday for a Tide commercial for Doctor Strange on
Oh
Disney
my
Plus.
goodness.
I know, and it was originally just a regular theater like TV spot, and they repurposed it for Disney Plus. So I
Hmm.
mean, that's kind of the format they're going for here now. So maybe it. I don't know. I mean, it saddens to me because I feel like I always like to see big numbers for these kind of things, but it is what it is.
Sure.
Minions: The Rise of Gru come in at 26.8 million with 534 million total. I mean, this is solid for an animated film in general. Again,
Yeah.
it's not that $1 billion that the last one did. Um,
Mhm.
there's no way it's going to hit $1 billion. It's just impossible. It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. Another thing too is that these Marvel movies also have been operating without China. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's a
If they
big thing
hadn't.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could easily slap on an extra 100 million, 200 million for on the box office here for Thor, then it would be better than Ragnarok. Now, Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, I want to say the first one released in China, but typically like supernatural kind of stuff
Mhm.
doesn't release over there because they're very
Mm.
whatever about it in their culture.
Yeah.
So they don't typically happen. So I don't know if that one would got a boost the first one did or not. But anyway, Where the Crawdads Sing is coming at number three at 17.3 million. That's also the worldwide gross as of right now. Don't know much about this one. Do you know what this movie is?
Yeah, it's based off a book. I wanted to go see it this weekend, but being that it's, like, book to movie. I'm always iffy about those. I don't know. All I kind of know is it's a murder mystery style
Mm,
film.
okay.
Though I've heard the film kind of pushes it into a little bit of a different direction.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I would like to know more. So let's start with Star Wars. Of course, we had the Emmys come out over the last week or so, and Book of Boba Fett was nominated for 4 Emmys: visual effects, sound editing, costumes, and stunt coordination. I wouldn't have called this, honestly. Maybe visual
Yeah.
effects, but and maybe sound editing. I'll give it that one. But
Mhm.
I was just kind of so lukewarm on the series as a whole that um,
Yeah.
whatever. Visual effects. I mean, Luke Skywalker come in clutch. Like how do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a massive improvement over season 2 of Mandalorian, and there was moments where like I mean, you could take screen grabs of that and be like, it looks like Mark Hamill's there as a young Mark Hamill.
Mm. Yeah.
So I could give it that one. Uh, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I we watched, my wife's still been kind of working through it, and she's on
mhm,
the very last episode, so we watched
yeah,
part of it last night, and just the moments when, like, the bubble droids come out,
which is
and
cool.
then Mando's igniting, like, the dark saber, and, like, just so much of that. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So I mean,
that
that
Mando
part makes
episode,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, that is cool, and there is some good. I mean, Matt of Two Foreign Collectors, he really loved it, and
Yeah.
I'm glad people do like it, but I think for me, it just didn't hit all the
This
things that I wanted.
Yeah. Like, the whole stunt coordination thing is a little silly to me because there are moments in that last episode, like, especially rewatching it because it's probably, like, my 2nd or 3rd time seeing it and just kind of looking in on what some of these characters are doing, it's just it gets a little tacky.
You mean like the guy spinning around and to take out?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, just
great
that kinda
video
stuff.
of that one. Where he's like spinning around, just taking out like millions of people throughout the galaxy. Um,
Right. And it kinda
I
hones in with, like, the whole, like, gimmick of, like, these are, like, the Star Wars Power Rangers and,
which is I
you
fucking
know
hate like that does not match
Yeah.
up. Like the Attack of the Clones,
No.
kind of aesthetic they had with like the jazz bar and everything does not match up with
Yeah.
Tatooine at all. Get the fuck out of here. The thing I'm curious about is I wonder why Obi-Wan didn't get nominated for any of these things versus like Book of Boba Fett and like
Right.
I mean Stranger Things did. I was assuming Stranger Things was going to get like not nominated because I thought the cutoff was gonna happen before
Mhm.
Stranger Things dropped, but it
Mhm.
got nominated for everything it felt like besides the cast, which is kinda crazy.
Yeah.
And, Obi-Wan, I don't think got nominated for anything. I didn't talk about I didn't put on here, like, Moon Knight got nominated for some stuff,
Yep.
um, which it didn't get nominated for Best Actor with Oscar Isaac, which I thought was fucking
That's
abysmal,
Yeah.
which I thought that was
That's
crazy. Like,
disappointing.
I would give away all these other nominations for all these other shows for Marvel and DC or for Marvel and Star Wars if they gave
Mhm.
Oscar Isaac at least a nomination for that. Um,
Sure, yeah.
and even Hawkeye got nominated. It's like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I
Yep.
don't understand. Like, it makes no sense. Anyway, so also Visions got nominated for Star Wars Outstanding Short Form, which that makes sense. That those are some
Mm.
great animated shorts in there. Some of my favorite things of Star Wars I've got in a long time. And last bit of Star Wars news: the Acolyte Tats Loki director Kate Herron from the first season of Loki, and it is set
Mhm.
100 years before the Phantom Menace, and the Jedi are at the height of their power. That's kind of all we know at the moment. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I enjoyed Loki for what it was. It wasn't. Again,
Mhm.
it was one of those things like the hype was getting pretty high, and then the show ended up being
Yeah.
not what I thought it was going to be.
Mm.
But I think I feel like I talk about it negatively. In the moment, it was kind of a big deal with, like, the
Mhm.
multiverse and the TVA and the timeline and how things worked, and there's a lot of speculation and then Kang being introduced at the end, like, those are all big things for the MCU. Even, like, the second to last
Mhm.
episode where old Loki sacrifices himself, all that stuff, glorious purpose, as he says, all
Yeah.
those things are fantastic, and so Loki is a lot of fun. I was trying to, um privately the other day, like rank where I thought the MCU Phase
Mhm.
4 has been so far on my letterbox, and
Mm.
maybe it's something we could do one day. Is if we have enough time in
Yeah,
advance, we can like let's rank the MCU Phase 4 and talk about
sure.
kind of what we think about sometimes.
S Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I do on my letterbox. I do have a general MCU ranking that it does change from time to time, especially when we're getting
Sure.
newer films and TV shows out. I end up adjusting some of it, but yeah, I have not done that for Phase 4 yet. That would be fun.
It would be. One thing um I want me and Daniel to do on the pod this year
Mhm,
is I want him whenever this year gets closer, when all the things Marvel have come out, when Black Panther 2 drops, whenever She-Hulk drops, maybe even maybe like the very end of the year, I don't know. But I want us to be like, okay, what's our top 5 favorite MCU moments this year that
mhm.
we've seen? Because like even though we're I don't think we're being very hard on it. I hate being negative on the MCU just because it's like my baby.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm obsessed with it, you know? And
Mhm.
I would like to I'm still having fun with these movies. They're still like to me, Zombie Strange and Doctor Strange 2 is fucking rad. You know, like that is fucking rad. And like give me more shit like that. So
Yeah.
that would be my top that's right now that's my top 5 like moments of the MCU
Mhm.
this year. And so
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
do that. I want to do that this year too. So I think that'd be kind of a cool little thing to do.
Mhm.
Just jump it out to you. What's like some of your what's your favorite MCU moment this year so far between Moon Knight, um, you know, Miss Marvel, Thor, and Doctor Strange.
Um, I think one of my favorites to add to that list is seeing, Kingpin in Hawkeye.
Okay.
That I mean, just the setup for that, where, the outro before you get to see him changes and you see, like, his figure, like, in the image, that gave me goosebumps, and then going into the next episodes, actually getting to see Kingpin into the MCU, that was so fun. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, you'll get more of him in the Echo TV show. Apparently, him and
Yep.
Charlie Cox are returning.
Him and Charlie Cox coming back, yeah.
It's gonna be pretty wild. Talking about more Marvel, of course, it should be like just a Marvel show, really. Ryan Gosling talks about Ghost Rider. So MTV's Josh Horowitz says Ryan and I chatted about the Nova Corps rumors yesterday which he said aren't true. But this morning, Ryan reached out to me to say there is one superhero he wants to play, and that is Ghost Rider. Make that happen. Like, you have someone
Yeah,
that high profile wants to be like and Ghost Rider's not like a super big profile character. Like, he
right.
has had 2 movies, he has appeared in Agents of
Mhm.
Shield now. So, like, he's like, everyone knows who he is, but he's still not a Spider-Man, he's still not an Iron Man or Captain
Sure.
America. And he's never gotten that treatment, like, that much love from anything he's been
Mhm.
adapted from. If Ryan Gosling says that, that's like to me, that's like a Mahershala Ali kinda thing where he's like, "Hey, I wanna be Blade," and they're like, "Okay, let's just make something happen." Like, that should fucking
Yeah.
happen now. Like,
I feel like it will. Ghost Rider especially with you look at quite a few of films that Ryan has done, it just makes sense.
Drive,
And
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like, yeah, Blade Runner. I mean, like, he had that, but I do see, like, I mean, the white the Black Knight, so to speak here, is Norman Reedus, and both of them
Mhm.
may be getting a little too old
Sure.
for this, but also you can just fuck them. They turn into a skull and turn on fire, like, they're not, like, they're just a
Right.
guy turning fire. So,
Yeah. Norman Reedus is definitely was my initial go-to, like, that'd be an awesome to see him playing Ghost Rider.
that would be pretty sick, though. That would be
And
fucking sick.
granted, with the whole multiverse stuff, like, they could bring them both in. I mean, they can do whatever they want.
That's true. Do you think they'll ever bring in I mean, I've been saying yes for years now. Do you think they'll bring in Nicolas Cage back as Ghost Rider for, Secret Wars?
Potentially, yeah, and the films, I've not seen either of those films, and I have not watched
Really?
Agents of Shield, so I'm not too familiar with, like, what Cage did with Ghost Rider, and I'd have to go back and rewatch or watch those for the first time.
You know, the first one, like now I wanna rewatch it, just talking to you about it, but the first one actually, like, has some pretty good decent for the time special effects or visual
Mhm,
effects, and I like the whole concept of it. The only downside of that movie was that it just didn't have enough fighting or enough Ghost Rider in it. Like, I liked all the things in
mm,
it, and Nicolas Cage is like he had, like, abs, like, he got in shape for that movie,
mm,
and,
interesting.
and he, like, dyed his hair black and all these other things, like, he had, like it was, like, his last true time, he was, like he looked good, and after that, he kind of started getting older, and metabolism
Yeah.
or goes away, X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and he come back for Spirit of Vengeance, which is the same guys who directed Crank, and that movie's
Okay.
fucking wild. The visual effects
Really?
look better, like they made like his skull darker and like more charcoal burnt, um,
Mhm.
but it's just like they're just like, hey, we have an idea, let's put it in the movie, and like, oh, Ghost Rider pisses fire, okay, like it's wild, it's a crazy movie. Um, But I own both of them, but you should watch them when you get a chance.
Yeah.
Cool thing about Agents of Shield, that was, uh, I think Ronnie Ramos, one of the other Ghost Riders in the comics, and,
Mhm.
the guy who played him is the guy who played the Terminator in Terminator Dark Fate, and,
Okay.
a cool thing about that, spoilers if you ever watch that show, it's like this is like in season 4, so Agent
Mm.
Coulson becomes Ghost Rider for, like, 1 episode.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty sick. So, and at the
Yeah.
time, that was part of the MCU, so anyway anyway,
Yeah, I know, Age yeah, it's on the bucket list to watch for sure, because 'cause I'm sure at one point on Agents of Mace, we'll be talking about it.
I would like to. I still have never finished it, like, I was every week, I was super into it, and then when I
Mhm.
moved to California after that summer, I stopped watching it 'cause I got busy.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever concept art leaks. Luke, I know you stay away from spoilers. Do you know what this is? Do you know what we're talking about here? If you
Nope.
don't, we're not gonna go into it.
No I mean, no clue, but I mean, with the URL right there, like, I can see, like, okay, interesting, but yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
shit, it
I'm
says it
trying
in
to
the URL. I'm so
it says it right
sorry.
there.
Oh, well, do you wanna
I
click on
mean,
it now that you
it's
know what it
hype, it's
is?
cool.
I mean,
I mean,
let's go ahead and
let's
click
do
on
it.
it since you already see it.
Yeah.
My bad, dude. I
Grant, but
didn't.
still, but, like, keep in mind because I bring this up a lot, like, I follow, like, Boss Logic, and he's tied in with both DC and Marvel, so he's
Yeah,
putting out so much. Granted, it's supposed to be fan art, but a lot of that stuff does carry over into what we see.
right. No, I mean, he's a great one to watch because
Yeah.
sometimes, like, he'll a not accidentally, but he'll kinda tee up, like, potential rumors and stuff like that. Well, if this is
Yeah.
true, and apparently it feels like it is, um, there's our boy Doctor Doom, gonna be in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. He looks pretty fucking comic accurate.
Yeah.
And who knows, this could be not real at all. I mean,
Mhm.
unfortunately, I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of information leaked on Wakanda Forever. I'm not gonna go
Mhm.
into all that, but it kind of ultimately made me not want to, like, I don't really care about the movie anymore. Like, there's things like this that,
Okay.
like, of course, I wanna see that,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I'm kind of, like, lukewarm on
Mm.
the movie now, and, I feel like my greatest fears have come to realization ultimately. So,
Mm.
we'll see what happens with that one. It could be a great movie, and I could be just wrong, but I mean, it was always a no-win situation in my head, so we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Miss Marvel and the M Word. Um, Luke, you've seen Miss Marvel. I know you've mentioned it on our private chats.
Yes.
The mutants are here in the Marvel
They're here.
Cinematic Universe. How'd you feel about that reveal?
Oh my gosh, that had me so excited, jumping out of my seat.
Yeah,
Just the whole like, when they did the riff, the little riff, the X-Men
yeah,
riff,
like da-da-da-da-da-da.
that
Yeah.
that was so much fun. Yes, we're definitely excited. You should be able to go listen to my thoughts on it right now, Ages of Mace podcast.
Okay.
I've already recorded and released that episode. I'm all here for it. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to Daniel about this yet. I'm not even sure he's seen the
Yeah.
episode, but we are reviewing Miss Marvel, the whole first season here,
Mhm.
this upcoming or tomorrow, I guess, on the pod. So that will be out pretty soon.
Nice.
And you know, I'm glad. I mean, I think it's cool the mutants are here. I really hope they. My issue with the mutants always in the comics and even in the movies was
Mhm.
that there's just too many of them, and like you don't really ever
Mm.
connect to a lot of them, and there's just X,
Sure.
Y, but and the MCU is kind of just getting that way anyway. There's just so many characters are kind of coming out of the woodwork here, and I don't really
Yeah.
know. I mean, I want to see it. I want it to happen.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge X-Men person. I do love Wolverine. I do love Cyclops. I do love Gambit. And I have people I do care about, but I'm I mean, I'm hoping Marvel can do him justice. Marvel's kind of
Yeah,
I'm really hoping. And interesting too is like Miss
same.
Marvel, she's typically an Inhuman in the in the
Yeah, did you
comics.
see the article about that dropped a day or 2 ago?
Probably, but tell me about it.
Um, yeah, so this was going they interviewed, one of the writers, and I believe if I'm remembering correctly, they always wanted Miss Marvel to be a mutant.
Mm,
I didn't know
in the
see the
comics,
details of
yes.
yeah, I
Yes.
didn't see the
Yeah.
details of why they ended up going the Inhuman route, but the original idea was to always Miss Marvel was always going to be a mutant,
Right. You're right.
which I thought it was really cool. So I do appreciate that, like, the MCU is able to translate that over. Because of course, when you see that and you hear the riff, we one thing we discuss is like, well, could they go the Inhuman route? But they're just teasing like X-Men is gonna come. But now it seems like no, they're actually gonna go the mutant route. So, will we see Inhumans? Is that gonna have a different part in the MCU, or are we just gonna go directly into the universe of mutants and start bringing in some of these characters?
I mean, obviously, we just got Black Bolt and Doctor Strange,
Yeah,
played by the
yeah,
same actor that was in the
right.
Inhumans TV show, who's also Picard on Star Trek, um,
Mhm.
on whatever that show's called, Strange New World, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's I think it's awesome. I'm not sure we'll get. I mean, that was originally Feige's end to like that kind of universe was in humans, and
Mhm.
then the TV people end up taking it, and he kind of
Mhm.
like basically rejected that, and then also then he got X Men, so he kind of just didn't have to worry about the Inhumans anymore. And also, I
Yeah.
don't really give a fuck about the Inhumans. I mean, I like Black Bolt; he's the only one I care about, so that kind of works
Yeah.
out for my personal taste. And yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I'll say that. Give me
Yeah.
Wolverine. Like that's all I want to see. Wolverine. Who's castable as Wolverine? And give me the double fastball special. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Um,
Which Miss Marvel does have connections to Wolverine, so
really,
it
I don't know much
yeah.
about Miss Marvel actually in the comics. It's probably
Yeah.
one of my lesser known characters.
Yeah, Miss Marvel does have some connections with Wolverine, so that's why we're wondering, like, with all this Wolverine talk that we've kind of covered, is wondering is, like, could that be the next I mean, now we're saying Miss Marvel's the first mutant we're seeing. Could Wolverine be the next one? Don't know.
It's possible. I Wolverine will be like an after credit stinger for X-Men 1.
Yeah.
He will not be in that
Yeah.
first movie. He's just too big of a character.
Right.
I mean, I could be wrong, but he'll get his own movie first. He should be like a
Mhm.
Canadian Special Forces guy. That's what he should be.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine is, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I
I know it. But also all the clues that we've gotten for potentially seeing him as Patch, like, that'd be cool as well.
talking about the guy who's tell me about this rumor here.
Well, like, if you look at, like, Falcon and Winter Soldier, if you just look at, oh, what's the city that they go to?
Oh, I know what you're talking
If I'm
about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm mislabeled him, but it's basically like Wolverine's alter ego, which I thought it was Patch or something, but he's kind of like runs the show there.
Gotcha, gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Well, hey, give
Yeah,
it to me. I'm
Madripoor.
Madripoor. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, you see,
I'm
like, basically Wolverine, but he wears, like, this white tuxedo, he's got a patch over his eye, he's just kind of just does things in Madripoor. It's kind of like his when he's not doing the X-Men stuff, he goes there and becomes this other person and does things.
interesting. Okay. Well, Daniel Kaluuya will not return for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. He finally confirmed that in an interview for Jordan Peele's Nope recently, um, which
I saw this
probably
headline, but did he share the reason why?
it was for Nope. He chose to shoot Nope over
Oh,
this
okay,
movie, which I think is
gotcha.
pretty telling of like a his belief in Nope and Jordan Peele. And then B also, I mean, it sounds like he won't be Black Panther, so he won't. Obviously he's
Yeah.
not in the running anymore to take it over. Not a whole lot there to unpack. This one has kind of been this next one, which is our main story, but it also it's kind of been bunked or debunked. but there's more
Mhm.
info kind of coming here. But will Steven Spielberg direct the Fantastic Four? The Vulture says Marvel did reach out to Spielberg's team to gauge interest in directing Fantastic Four, but that's as far as the discussions went. Presumably because he has no interest. Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew that they were
Mhm.
always wanting the big name. We heard that after John Watts had left the project, and
Mhm.
Spielberg is about as big as it gets in terms of like directing, right? He is. I
Right.
mean, who's the next Spielberg? That's like a thing, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, would I like to see that? There absolutely. Like, would I want to see that movie? 100 fucking percent. But I just don't see Spielberg conforming to the Marvel formula in terms of
Yeah.
reshoots and having to follow a certain narrative and all these other things.
Mhm.
I just don't see that happening, and so this doesn't surprise me one bit. This is probably again, he probably let the project Watts did probably like end of last year. We just found out about it, after Spider-Man come out, and
Mhm.
they probably asked him very quickly after that. So this is probably old news. One of those situations where we're getting a trickle down
Mhm.
effect, where we're like
Yeah.
8 months to a year behind already on the news cycle. But would I like to see it? Of course, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that. That's a cool idea. Um, Apparently, there's more outlets dropping that. This is all kind of tied together. More outlets
Mhm.
dropping that Jason Segel will play the Thing. Like that's kind of picking up some steam. I still find it kind of hard to believe that he's going to be in She-Hulk. I just don't know if they would show him there for the first time in the MCU. It feels very weird to me. Um, but apparently, this weekend the full cast is expected to be announced. And over or under 50%, do you think John Krasinski will walk back out on stage to be our Mr. Fantastic? I think your audio kind of dropped out for me, bud. You there? Can't hear you. I'm running solo at the moment. Everyone, Luke is working on his mic as I'm drinking coffee, so the most entertaining show this side of the river. I don't know why I said river. Luke, you should probably get off the call and call back in. Maybe that'll help you. I can't hear you now. He's talking to me, but I can't hear him. So that's the way the world works. But I bet he's calling in right now. Mr. Luke, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you now as well.
Well, this is the only issue with this microphone. It's so sensitive. If you tap this cable, it's like game over.
Yeah, I mean, mine's. I gotta buy a new cable. I guess mine's fucking sucks too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just
SDCC, yeah, like let's go full cast. This is gonna break the internet.
I'm going to Fayetteville this weekend, and
Mhm.
I will be busy with my girlfriend, and but there will be part of me that will be like glued to my fucking phone, like all they like what they're gonna announce. Like if they're coming to Comic Con the first time in
Mhm.
3 years, what's gonna
Yeah.
be announced? What's gonna be shown? Black
Is that
Panther, 100%. It's gonna
and
happen.
that'll be this weekend? It's this
I think
weekend?
I think it's this week. Oh no, it's next weekend. Sorry, it's the 28th through which I'll still be again. I'll be with my girlfriend next weekend. Let's just see CDCC
No, this says,
2022.
21st through 24th.
Oh, you're right. So it is this weekend. Okay.
Okay.
So we start Thursday. And when is the
Ooh,
Marvel panel? It is it's Friday, July 22nd around 3:30 p.m. Okay, our
okay.
time, Central time. Okay, so yeah, I'll be knee deep in not on my phone, so my phone will be blowing up probably between you and between Daniel and
Yeah.
Travis and everyone else, but I will be in the know still, and we will of course come here next Monday and we will talk about all the things that they announce.
Oh,
It'll be the
yeah.
first, I mean, the first big CDC or SDCC since we've had in a long time.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. Again, last question: do you think Krasinski will over under will be in the MCU? by the end of the weekend? Final bets.
Um, I'm going under.
I think they'll recast him.
I think they're gonna recast him. Yeah.
It's one of those things like I suspect they'd already had him cast by the time Doctor Strange came out. If they
Hmm.
hadn't have cast someone by then, I suspect that he would have been taken over. Like it'd have been like, hey, you know, the outcry from fans is so big, we're just going to cast John Krasinski.
Yeah.
And why don't you?
Right.
Why don't you?
the The question will be is like if he is not cast, what are the reasons? Will he be public about it? Because is it going to be something silly like they just couldn't pay me enough and be go
I
down
don't
that
think
route?
it's not that at all. I think it's more
I
just
wouldn't
personal
think it'd be
preference.
that. I think it would be. I just don't have the desire to be in
I mean,
like.
I suspect that like probably Watts casted these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
I totally suspect that Watts made those decisions. That's probably one of the first things they did was I mean, like, I
Hmm.
didn't put it on here, but Feige cast Hercules, right? He cast Ted Lasso
Hmm.
boy as Hercules in Thor: Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
and I just suspect that they've already made these decisions a long time ago, and
Yeah.
they kind of I don't know. I'm curious. Again, it really boils down to me based on that commentary we got where Feige was like, "Hey," or whoever was like, "Hey, let's do this for the fans." Like that'd be fun little
Mm.
nod. The only
Yeah.
downside is once you do that, and granted, he can come back and play anybody, but it's like, man, John Krasinski is someone that he's like hot. Like he's a hot director at the moment. Everyone loves him because he's Jim from The Office. He's in Jack Ryan. Why would you waste him for less than 8 minutes of screen time if you're not going to use him
Yeah.
again in the future?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wonder. I would love to know how John feels about this. Krasinski, like, would he come back to play a different character? Could you play a different character? I mean, I think you could in the MCU, like the MCU, like the proper 616, right? So I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm curious. Um, Madam Web adds Severance actor Adam Scott to the cast. It also was the second most nominated movie or TV show this year at the Emmys. I am working through Severance at the moment.
Same. I'm about to start episode 3.
I think I'm on 5, so I'm getting close to the
Okay.
end. I started
All
it the
right.
day
Cool.
it dropped. Like the day it dropped, I turned it on and I'd watched like the first episodes and I liked it a lot. I just whatever reason
Yeah.
stopped watching it. And then I was like,
So
okay,
much other stuff out. Same.
there's so much, man. I mean, I just caught up on Succession. I mean, I finished the last episode the day it got nominated for 25 Emmys.
Nice.
So I
Nice.
was like, yeah, it deserves it. It show's fucking incredible. I didn't realize how big it
Yeah.
was until that day last week when I
Yeah,
was
man.
finishing it.
It's like season 4, I think, may come out in August.
I
Can't
hope
remember.
so. I would like to see where it's gonna go. I mean, I just started. I was gonna wait, but I was like, fuck it. Last night I started season 4 of Westworld because I'm a huge
Okay.
Westworld guy, and season 3
Same.
kind of burnt me a little bit. And so, but I'm on. I watched the first episode last night, and I'm highly intrigued. Obviously,
Same. I am behind. I've only watched the first 2, but I've heard episode 4 is
that's what I heard. I
mind
heard 4
blowing.
is like one of the best episodes in the whole show.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm
I need to
probably tonight I will be caught up on Westworld. Will be a safe bet, probably.
yeah.
I'll probably
I'm gonna
binge the
try.
next 3. And I've been waiting like a motherfucker to watch Better Call Saul. Like my plan was to originally watch the first half and
Oh
then watch the other half.
my goodness. The episode last night, just some of the cinematography,
Yeah,
like I get the itch. Like, man, why I
I'll tell
gotta
you right
get in.
now.
Ah,
I'll look at my calendar here. Um, on the August 6th is when I will be watching the entirety of Better Call Saul. I've already planned it out. Like that's my day. It's that Saturday. I've seriously I've planned this out for a while. So like I'm gonna watch it on that day, and I'm gonna drink so much fucking Mountain Dew and eat so much bad shit that day. It's gonna be amazing. I'm in like anticipating this so bad. Like most anticipated TV show for a while, and
yeah.
I just been buying my time waiting. So buying my time. Okay. We probably need to have like an episode one day where we talk about like what's the best shows of the year too. Like we have like
Oh,
our
yeah.
best Phase 4 movies or whatever. Then we can also talk about like what's
Yep.
the shows that kind of rocked us in 2022.
Yep.
I mean, Better Call Saul is like I think it's just as good as or better than Breaking Bad. and like I love it.
Same.
Like I fucking love it.
I yeah, it is
And if
awesome.
someone put a gun
Yeah.
to my head and said Breaking Bad's the best TV show of all time, I'd say you're fucking right. Take the gun off my head because I believe you. You know, like I get it. You're right. So, um, here's a cool thing. SDCC Comic Con banner shows potential Captain America 4 promo art. I put this on here because I don't really believe that. I mean, it
Yeah.
is promo art for CDCC, but
Mhm.
or SDCC. I keep saying CDCC. But here's the thing. This right here, you guys see Falcon here, or sorry, Captain Falcon. This is promo art from Falcon Winter
Mhm.
Soldier. This was on the box art for the action figures. Now, this right here is interesting. Sharon Carter back
Mhm.
here, she's in wearing white. This is a more um, comic accurate look to her. She hasn't worn this costume yet in the MCU, but I believe there
Mhm.
was promo art of this beforehand that came out years ago. People are taking this as promo art for the movie. It very well could
Yeah.
be, and some are even saying like apparently there's rumors that like after her reception in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, basically, they're going to reduce her role a little bit, and they're also going to, um, you know, kind of scale back her as the antagonist because everyone was so
Mhm.
lukewarm of her, myself included. I thought that was
Mm.
one of the worst parts of the show was the power broker arc for her.
Mhm.
It was just so bad, and also like I don't really believe her as a menacing person, and
Mm.
I don't really care if she went bad. Like it was fun seeing her in Cap and Civil War and Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
but they just didn't do a good job to me of presenting her as the big bad. And I
Yeah, I
don't know.
found
We'll
it
see.
pretty predictable. I was calling it,
Oh
like,
yeah,
very early on,
I was like, well, you're
like
the fucking power broker. Yeah.
yeah. It's just funny seeing, like, so many people like, "No, like, it's not gonna be," and then, yep.
It is. Oh, yeah, definitely. And big thing too is, not big thing, but after Miss Marvel ended, I was like
Mhm.
kind of a little underwhelmed, I guess. Spoilers for the podcast this week. So I went and I watched the last episode of Falcon. Like I have been going back to that more than I have any other Phase 4 thing is
Mm.
when he becomes Captain America and him fighting and doing his speech at the end.
Mhm.
Like all those things, like to me, I've been trying to grab onto characters in the MCU and Phase 4 and, like, who do I care about and who do I wanna see do the things that push the narrative forward, and I have all Sam Wilson as Cap has always been a mainstay for me, and I am
Mm.
excited to see his movie, and I really hope Julius Onah can come in clutch because that boy
Yeah.
needs all the help he can get. Okay.
Hmm.
Russo brothers say there are no talks to direct Secret Wars yet. Um, and I believe them because they've been very open about wanting to do this movie. I'm not sure that's like a play on their part. I also feel like they probably have a direct line to Kevin Feige anytime they want. But they've been
Oh,
doing the
yeah.
rounds for The Gray Man, which I didn't know this week, but The Gray Man's in theaters right now. Like it's at
It is,
fucking
I was about to ask, that was another thing, I didn't know my schedule, but I was almost gonna text you to see if you wanted to go watch it.
dude. I saw it over the like I didn't see it, but like my brother's wife come over and was like, she works at a theater, and she was like, yeah, it's out. I was like, what? It's out? Like I thought it come out this
Yeah.
weekend on Netflix, and
It drops, yeah, I think Friday on Netflix, but it is, I think, at the Rave.
it is. Yeah, I checked. I
Or
immediately
it
checked
may
when she
be at
said that.
Riverdale 10 as well.
I know it like
Of
blew my
course,
mind.
Yeah, Conway doesn't get it.
Of
Just
course, of
lame.
course. And I was like, fuck. Like I wish I would have watched it last weekend. I would have watched it
Yeah,
last weekend if I'd known about it. But it's
very
yeah, if our schedules align, I may go with you actually. But I
yeah.
just yeah. Anyway, so that's another conversation. But Secret Wars, they're talking in the interviews that they haven't had any conversations with Marvel yet. That they talk about it openly. It's their favorite comic arc. It's why they got the comics.
Mhm,
It's why they do these movies when they have done them, and they're open to working with them again when when it could. We talked, I think, last week or a couple weeks ago. The Russo brothers also would like to direct an X Men movie, which is awesome.
mhm, yep.
So yeah, I'm curious as to where this goes. I wonder if we'll get a Secret Wars announcement. I doubt we'll get a Secret Wars announcement at San Diego Comic Con. We'll probably get one at D23 if we get one. They'll want to save some things for that big investor meeting. So
Yeah. Do you think it's too early to mention Secret Wars or like
no, I mean I don't think so. I mean we got
when?
Infinity War in 2000. Um, I mean I guess was it we got Civil War announcement when Age of Ultron was dropping. Yeah, before it come out because they showed a scene from Age of Ultron of
Mhm.
Tony and Cap at him chopping wood. They showed that scene
Mhm.
at D23, and then they
Yeah.
used that scene to initially announce Captain America Serpent Society, but they come out, oh, we're doing Civil War instead. And
Mm.
so we knew about Civil War even before Age of Ultron had come out, which was a year later, I believe.
Mm.
So I suspect, I mean, I don't know, it could be too early. It could be, but I think they're going to
I
want to
mean,
give
Infinity War was
some.
4 years ago.
Yeah, I think they announced. Did they announce Infinity War when they announced Civil War? No, they surely not. It was probably the next year
I
they did
can't
that.
I think it was
I
the
don't
next
remember.
year.
I don't
I can't,
remember.
yeah.
It's possible. I'll say that it's possible. We've had a lot of content phase 4.
Mhm.
I don't know. I really don't know. Do not know. Um, we got a little bit more here to go. We're gonna wrap this up. Batgirl releases in theaters in 2023 in the UK, which isn't super surprising because HBO Max is not over there just yet. Has a budget of
Mm.
$70 million. So there's always the question of will it release theatrically in the United States? I suspect it will. You got Michael Keaton in there.
Hope so.
You got Brendan Fraser, Michael Keaton. You got Batgirl. It's apparently testing well. Why not? Like you could make way more money doing that. You could easily make
Mhm.
like $300 million doing that easily. Make your return on your budget plus more money, and then drop it on HBO Max. So it's a win 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 win. I don't know why they would do HBO Max by itself. Um, Directors also weren't told they had Keaton Batman or why they had Keaton Batman. They said we would ask, "Oh, you have J.K. Simmons from the Snyderverse, and we got Michael Keaton from the Burtonverse. What's the situation there?" And they would say, "Don't worry about it. We got a plan." They never really explained that aspect to us. I guess you're going to have to see the other movies to understand what happens. Why the reason is that we ended up in sort of a spaghetti multiverse in that aspect. It's
Hmm.
going to be a delicious spaghetti, I'm sure. Interesting. I don't know if I believe them. They maybe just be lying, but also I kind of do believe them. And what's feels like even like all these directors like Feige, like yeah, if Feige has a plan, we don't really question some of his things. I'm like, I can't imagine. I mean, maybe they don't question, and I don't know the relationship with the directors and Feige. I assume it's like I would like to
Mhm.
think that if I like, hey, where's this going, or like give me some inkling, just 'cause I'm curious, not even as a director of this project, I'm curious as a fan of this universe. Are you gonna tell me anything?
Mhm.
Maybe he's just like, oh, we'll see. I mean, like, what do you say to that? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think I'd be pretty frustrated, especially if I was making a movie and I had Batgirl, but I didn't know why I was working with Michael Keaton's Batman. Like, that's kind of
Yeah,
wild. That's a wild decision.
that is.
I feel like that's more extreme than like, hey, what are we gonna do with Hercules and Zeus, and why are we casting that guy? Oh, don't
Yeah,
worry about it. That's different. That's a post-credit scene versus this, where it's
right.
like, here's a character in the movie. It's Michael Keaton coming back after 30 years
Mhm.
and figured like just I mean, like, even narratively, I guess they don't talk about it in the movie. Maybe it's just like this is just the universe at this point, right? Like this is how things
Mm.
are, blah 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 blah. But I feel like Michael Keaton has to be an older Batman, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
like, are we
I,
setting up Batman Beyond or what's gonna happen there? Like, what's the goal? Is this
your guess as good as mine on this one.
Keaton is gonna fix the DCE?
Well,
It's gonna sit everyone down and be like, "Look, I can either destroy you all right now, or you can, like, play nice and we can go fight these bad guys together."
that sounds amazing. Well, I have some information on that here in a second. Real quick,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves wants to play an older Batman. Reeves says it's always been a dream, but Robert Pattinson's got Batman right now, and he's doing awesome. So maybe down the road, maybe we could maybe when they need an older Batman. Are you down for this? I mean, he's going to be Batman in the DC League of Super Pets, I believe, right?
I think so, yeah. Man, Keanu Reeves is an older Batman. Sure. I mean, it's very different, and it's like now we're getting into this weird territory of, like, everyone wants to play this older version of Batman, but it's like, to me, that's Keaton, man, like, that's kinda, like, all I need.
I mean, I still want if I could pick one person, sorry, if I could pick
Mhm,
two people, it'd be Josh
mhm,
Brolin as Batman or John Hamm as Batman. Those two are like when if you're talking about a true The Dark Knight Returns kind of Batman, that's the Batman I would
yeah,
want. Or I mean, do I want Michael Keaton in a Batman Beyond situation? Yeah, of course. Fuck yeah, give me that.
mm,
But I'd
yeah.
almost rather have the other
What
two.
what about Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah, that's great too. Fuck yeah. I mean, I would
I think
rather
he
have
would
him as
be
Flashpoint Batman first,
yeah, sure,
because
yeah,
he's his own can of worms.
mhm. Yeah,
Um,
he is.
and I don't know why in the fuck they didn't do that for the movie, and that really bothers me actually. So
Yeah,
I don't understand in a million years why you don't put that storyline in the Flash movie where Jeffrey Dean
mhm,
Morgan is Batman, because the whole point of that for Batman, spoilers everybody, is that at the end the Flash brings back a note from Jeffrey from
mhm,
Thomas Wayne Batman, gives it to Bruce Wayne, and like he's like basically, hey, stop doing this. Like I love you.
mhm,
This isn't what I would want. I don't want what I'm doing for you. And if this is what you're doing, stop it. And Bruce Wayne
mhm.
cries at the end of Flashpoint comic book in his
Yep,
Batcave.
yep.
Fucking awesome. How I want to get my fucking keyboard and rip it in half, Luke. I don't understand when you have these great ideas and you have the actors that are willing to do it, like openly and verbally, why you don't do that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. Maybe Michael Keaton will come in and say, "Hey Ben, I'm an old Bruce Wayne. It doesn't go anywhere." I'm like, even though you're also an old Bruce Wayne, I'm an older Bruce Wayne.
yeah, right.
Like maybe that's what
Yeah,
they'll do with that, and like Ben Affleck will retire, and then Bruce Wayne will. Yeah, he's like, I've been doing it so long. It's okay if I keep going. You can go off into the sunset, kind of thing. Possible.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's possible.
I guess. Um, did you see this report? There was one report that dropped. I can't remember who did it, but then Rolling Stones come out and basically it just dropped. I think
Mhm,
a big report today or yesterday, but it is very damning of the release of Snyder Cut movement here. There's like a
mhm,
lot of like 13 points, a lot of stuff happening. I'm gonna go through them very quickly. We're running out of time. Apparently,
mhm,
13% of the accounts on Twitter that were doing the release of Snyder Cut movement are
mhm,
fake. Also, the Godzilla versus Kong director also like reached out personally to Snyder to stop the fans from review bashing the movie because they were trying to because it came out around the same time, I believe, and they were
mhm,
trying to like stop that movie from doing well and have Batman do well.
mm,
Apparently, the movie was only watched by 4 million people total in the first 40 days of release on in America, which isn't that great.
hmm,
It's even less than Wonder
yeah,
Woman 84. Um, apparently, I mean, there's a lot of information to unpack. There's reports that Snyder potentially got with Ray Fisher to orchestrate like him attacking Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns. Apparently, Zack Snyder also. This is according to the Rolling Stones. This is all hearsay at the moment. Zack
yeah,
Snyder also stole the hard drives from Warner Brothers headquarters and kept them. And they told him to bring them back, and he said no. And that's how he had the alternate cut of the movie. Um, and I mean, there's a lot going. There's a lot more, but it
mm,
sounds like Warner Brothers has been collecting this information, and they even like into the investigation also into like the Twitter accounts. I think they're like,
mhm,
you know what, fuck this. We're tired of being fucked over by this Twitter army,
yeah, yeah,
and we're gonna just put it out. And like this is the final say. This is the final word in the story of Zack Snyder. He's not
mhm,
fucking coming back into the DCEU. We've moved on. You're fixing to
yeah, yeah,
get Michael Keaton back and all these like Black Adam and the Shazam and all these other things and
mhm,
get over it. And I think this was their
mhm,
final hit piece of like, hey, go fuck yourself. So go read that article. It's a lot to unpack and it's a good
yeah,
article
I'll
too.
go check it out, definitely.
Um, I was thinking today, I was like, man, I remember yesterday, I was kind of disappointed, like with Thor. I've been kind of thinking a lot about this year's superhero movies, and I
Mhm,
remembered, like, wait a minute, We still have Black Panther, of course, which again, my anticipation is really low for that one. But we still have Black Adam, and we also have Shazam.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yep.
man, those I'm actually excited probably more for Shazam, but like I
Oh,
love
same.
Shazam 1. I love
I
Shazam
do
1.
too. It's so
I,
fun.
I think it's better
I really
than
enjoyed it.
Eternals. I think it's better
Yep.
than Black Widow. I think it's better than
Mhm.
Doctor Strange too. I think it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder. Like it's better than almost all these other Phase 4 movies so far, besides Spidey.
Mhm.
Spidey's still my boy. Um,
Spidey's, yeah.
Spidey's my boy. But I love that movie. I love it. It's my favorite. It's probably the it could be my favorite DCE movie. I don't know. So
It's up there for
I'm
me.
I am anticipating that, and we could have got the Flash this year. We could have got, which I mean,
Yeah.
again, who knows what the fuck's happening with that? We could have got Batgirl this year. It could have been a big year for DC. I mean, we had the Batman too. Like, what's wrong? I mean, I still
Yeah.
like the Batman a lot. Like I still really enjoy it.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's around the corner. We'll see what happens. Last two bits of news before we get into our Blu-ray releases. I can't talk. Dune Part Two has begun shooting, which I'm excited about.
Awesome.
Florence Pugh
Yep.
has also been cast in that movie, and yeah, bring it on. I mean, my only complaint with Dune Part One was that it ended. So I was like, this is half a movie,
Yeah.
so I'm excited for the other
Yeah.
half, and I'm really excited
Same.
for the super special cut 4 hour version steelbook. Like that should be a thing. If it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be really fucking upset. So that should be a giant box set or something. Like I need that in my
You
life.
know it will. You know it will.
I missed out on the Dune Part One steelbook because I'm a fucking idiot. So it happens.
Mm.
Um, Halloween Ends trailer drops tomorrow, July 20th. So go check that out if
Okay.
you can. Apparently, there's some.
This is
There,
this probably like the past 48 hours, this has been in the back of my mind. I was like, shouldn't we be getting something for Halloween Ends soon? Is that still a
yeah,
thing? Is that still happening?
it is a thing. It is still happening. Tomorrow. Apparently, I did read some reports on potential plot stuff, and I am curious. This is where they're going with this one, and I was very disappointed with the second Halloween Kills. I thought the first
Yeah,
one was really good. I loved Halloween.
same.
Halloween Kills though
Is
was just not what I fucking wanted.
Halloween Ends, is it still the Little Rock director doing that one?
It's the same guy. It's David Gordon Green is directing.
Yeah.
He directed all three of them. Is he from Little Rock?
Okay. It's from
David
Little
Gordon
Rock.
Green. What?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
I was curious if you had any connection or if you've met him before
Oh yeah, we hang out all the time. No, I don't.
all the time.
No, I don't really know him. I guess that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
I feel like I may have heard that, but I forgot. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I again, whatever. I'm hopefully it's better than the second one because the second one did not
Same.
do a lot for me at all.
Agree.
For Blu-ray releases coming out today, actually, the only new one we have is the Bob's Burgers movie. Couldn't care less for that, but I'm sure a lot of people do love that. There is a Best Buy Steelbook, and then we have a
Mm.
lot of 4K releases. We have Devil in a Blue Dress. We have the Men in Black. I think 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary Steelbook.
Mhm.
It looks pretty dope. I want to go buy it, but I don't want to spend the money. I want it really bad.
Yeah.
It looks fucking
I
sick.
think Philip Price shared an image and it looks awesome.
It looks awesome. He did buy it.
Yeah.
Now I have to go buy it. Okay. God told me to. Lion of the Desert, The Message, Gamer. There's a new RoboCop still or Blu-ray out there, and we have The Kid, and we have An American Werewolf in London, which I haven't seen actually, surprisingly. So that's your Blu-ray releases of the day. Luke, where can our listeners find you and all the cool things that you do?
Yeah, definitely check out Agents of Mace podcast. We will have our episode for Thor: Love and Thunder dropping within the next 24 to 48 hours. And then you can also find me on YouTube. Just search for Luke Irvin, and you can check out my channel where I talk about movies and other things.
Awesome. And of course, you want more 241 Studios, go to youtube.com/241 Studios, the best place to consume the content. Of course, you can always hit us up at 241studios.com. And yes, I mentioned earlier, we do have a podcast 241. We'll be doing episode 126 tomorrow over Miss Marvel,
Oh,
the
wow.
entire series overview. Yeah, 126 episodes. We've been pumping them out, dude.
Awesome.
One a week for almost 3 years. And then we have Dr. Bruce Hutchinson back in the house next week to talk The Prestige, which I'm excited about that one. That'll be a fun podcast. And then I don't know yet after that what we're talking about. But I do know next week we will probably be talking about San Diego Comic Con and all the cool things that we speculated about today, but hopefully have more concrete news in just a few short days.
Hmm.
Um, If you didn't know, and you probably didn't, we are sponsored by Kapow Comics, located at 4047 East Kill Avenue in Sherwood, Arkansas. There they have comic books, collectibles, graphic novels, and of course, special guest appearances throughout the year. Luke, thank you so much for being on Two for One Joe Live. I'm excited for this upcoming Monday. That to me, it's like probably the
Oh
most
yeah.
anticipated one I've had for a while, just because we have a lot of information dropping, and I need to know
Yep.
now who's the Fantastic Four. Like I need to know. And also, I bet money we'll probably get the cast. We'll probably get a director announcement. That's probably the two things
Yep.
I'm expecting. Some probably Black Panther Wakanda Forever footage. We'll get footage for Black Adam. We might get some information on the. Oh, they won't. No, they won't talk about the Flash. Never mind. The Flash will not be
I don't think they
at
will.
Comic Con. Never mind. We might get some
Yeah.
Batgirl information. We might get some like a trailer for
Will
Batgirl.
Keat
Some Brent.
will Keaton show up? Will Keaton be there? Will he hype
He
everything
will
up?
be he probably gets a pay bump, and he'll be definitely be the
Yep.
marketing man for probably both of these
Mhm.
movies coming out. So I'm definitely they'll probably showboat him around like a princess. Anyway, Luke, it was nice talking to you. Let's get off here, and
Always.
everyone, we will see you next